Hi, my dear friends. This is Vasilina Orlova with you, and I'm doing coaching for such issues as decluttering, unleashing creativity in writing and art, breakup, and academia. And so I wanted to record this video on a matter that is unrelated to coaching, but is related to my other identity, which is the identity that I'm currently building. It's an identity of a mental health counselor. As you might know, I'm doing my master's in mental health counseling, and I recently obtained the practicum place, an internship place. I hope this place will be an internship place after I'm done with my practicum. And this place is doing, among other techniques, it is doing eye movement desensitization and reprocessing technique. And this is the technique that I want to talk about today, that I learned about a little, just kind of the beginning. And I want to record my impressions from this technique as somebody who has encountered it after a little less than a year of doing mental health counseling studies in order to implement it in my practice, meaning I will be practicing it starting the fall. I will be doing it to the people and with the people. So this is absolutely exciting. And I read about it, I watched, and by now I watched one video. My practicum starts in the fall. And I wanted to record those impressions that I got from the video from EMDR, because I found it absolutely fascinating. So if you're familiar with this, the EMDR is the type of technique that is, in my view, the way I understand it so far, and that might not be how others understand it, but the way I understand it so far is that this technique kind of overloads your sensory abilities in order for you to get to that level of your memory that is normally suppressed, and that is normally you are not processing it in the way that EMDR allows you to. So basically, there are multiple ways to help people to get into that level, including movements of the hand in front of the eyes, and they have to follow with the eyes to the fingers, basically, that are moving in front of them. And tapping, sometimes lights are used. To me, it looked as if the person is being sort of pushed into some sort of trance, into some sort of experience of transcendence of their own mind. There is a state that is not a state that you would normally experience in your life. That is the state that is evoked, and the practitioner is walking the person through the state. So this is the type of therapy that is obviously you need to be very well prepared to do, and I think that it could be a very dangerous type of therapy as well if it's done, particularly not as much if it's done with not enough training, but if it's done with bad intentions, because that is definitely something that if you kind of trust this person who is leading you through this and they don't have good intentions, it can be very damaging to the psyche, I think. But this is a fascinating type of therapy that is very powerful, in which the therapist is not speaking that much. And I talked to another therapist who is a practitioner for a long time, for years, and she employs EMDR in her practice. And she said that it was difficult for her kind of in a way that she's a talker, and so she likes to talk, and EMDR doesn't really give you much space for talking. You're just guiding somebody through something. And I will link that video that I watched, and that if you're interested in EMDR, you can also watch. You will see the therapist in there who is basically moving her hand like that, and even more quickly. So, and you have to follow the fingers as she walks you through certain stages. So there are these stages, and these stages are not, let's say, something arbitrary, right? You have to go through them in order to arrive at a certain point. But the fascination with EMDR, with all the reservations against it, is that it seems to be working very well. It seems to be evidence-based. It seems to be actually working, meaning the people are, like in that video, but that's not the only case. That is also what I hear from other therapists. The people who rate their traumatic experiences and their memories that inhibit them at a rate from something from 7 to 10 on the scale from 0 to 10, where 0, it doesn't bother you, and 10 bothers you the most. And the people who rate the memories that highly in the beginning of the EMDR session, miraculously, and there is no other word for that, miraculously rated as 0 or on the lower side of the scale upon just sometimes even one session. And then it's interesting why, because of course the critique could be made that maybe they are there already in this alliance with the therapist, already invested in it. And so you could argue that maybe it works as some sort of placebo. But you will also watch in that video, if you would like to look at it, that no, this is serious, this is really happening, this is something that is, you cannot really doubt that it is happening to a person. And I do have my own reservations. I wonder what it is. I wonder if it's a part of or type of hypnosis, and I'm not sure how I look at hypnosis, you know. Of course, there are experiences that dictate how we view all sorts of techniques. And my experience growing up in the Soviet Union, we had this Kashpirovsky and Chumak, people who would charge the water in the jars in front of the TV sets, and all the Soviet Union, or particularly older people, and there was a lot of women in those audiences. They were very invested in it, and they were not given good therapy. They were given a bunch of quasi-religious and bordering on some magical thinking treatments, including the recommendations to drink that water that the hypnotizer will charge, and of course, when you unleash it on a big audience, and there are people who are really disturbed in those audiences, some of them will discover that it really helped, and so there will be witnesses and there will be testimonies. It's the law of big numbers. Now, I think that the EMDR is something completely different. I think that obviously it has a ground of in the science. It has the scientific evidence in favor of it. It has been shown to be working, but I also think that we might not fully know how it is that it is working. So I'm excited to learn more about this technique. I'm hoping to learn it in the course of my internship, and I'm hoping to employ it when I am a licensed mental health counselor. And by now, what I'm doing is recording those videos, updating you on my progress. And if you want to stay in touch with me, or get in touch with me, you can do that. And I'm hoping you're having a great day. And I'm also hoping to get back to this video and watch it after I learn EMDR and practice, and we'll see how it goes and how wrong or right I was. Bye-bye.